If you would have told me even a couple months ago that I was gonna start this YouTube channel, I would have said, you're nuts. But it's 2025, you know, and crazier things have happened. So here I am, and I am so happy to be here. So for anyone who doesn't know who I am or hasn't seen my videos before, my name is Sarah Beth Graham. I live in Kentucky. I have a husband named Jack, who's awesome, and a dog named Luna, who's perfect. I'm 29 years old. I'm proud of that. I'm happy to be here. I turned 30 in April and I'm so excited. And yeah, I've decided to bring back my YouTube channel. So for the background on that, I had a YouTube channel where I vlogged my entire Disney college program experience, where I was there from 2017 to 2018. And then I filmed just my life and being home for about a year and a half after that. So I kept up with it for quite a long time afterwards. So yeah, that is what my channel was before, and now it's shifting into something new, which I'm so excited about. But it has been a almost full 5 years since I have sat down in front of the camera and talked to it. So right now I feel a little cuckoo bananas talking to my camera, but it's all good. I feel like vulnerable and a little hesitant and nervous to like put my life back out on the internet, but I'm so excited to bring back this hobby. It is such a fun creative outlet. I miss making videos. I miss connecting with people online who watch my videos. So yeah, I'm just so excited to be back. It's going to exist in the booktube space. That is really a lot of my interests recently, and where I spend a lot of my time watching and just taking in that content. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous and I'm scared, but most of all, I'm just very excited to be back in this space. So I will say, for anyone who hasn't watched my videos before, if you're new here, I'm so pumped. And if you subscribed to my channel previously, welcome back. I'm so excited to connect with you again. But for anyone who hasn't seen, sorry, I have a notebook and it keeps falling. Sorry for the distraction. For anyone who hasn't seen my videos before, I will give a fair warning. I am incredibly chatty, and I don't think I've ever made a YouTube video that's less than 30 minutes. Now that's not true and I'm being hyperbolic, but truly, I love a long video. So if that is not your vibe, I really am sorry. But that is just all the content I take in. I'm a podcast girl. I'm long format till I die. If I see an hour-long video, I am clocked in. But that is just a forewarning. I'm a chatty gal. So yeah, okay. So I am going to start my first YouTube video back with a booktube newbie tag. That is so hard for me to say with a straight face. Why is that like the cringiest sounding combination of words I've ever heard? I don't know, but I'm gonna say it with my chest because I'm happy to be here. I'm doing a booktube newbie tag. So I'm gonna walk through those questions that exist here, just so you guys can get to know me a little bit more about me and my book habits. And yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, so I'll start with the first question, which is, why did you start your channel? And I really started this channel, like I said before, I just loved having it as a creative outlet before, and I miss having that. And I've probably been reading consistently for the past 7 years. I was not a reader kid growing up, so reading as an adult was a hobby that happened for me after I graduated college. So yeah, that's something that I have really enjoyed, and I'm excited to just participate in creating the content that I love to watch, and yeah, bring my book recommendations and thoughts and opinions to YouTube. Yeah, I'm super excited. Oh, and I think it'll really be a really good way for me to keep track of what I'm reading. I love Goodreads, and for the longest time I would just like put like a star rating on my books. And then I hated not knowing and like being able to reference back to like exactly what I thought about the book. So then I started writing like really long reviews, just because I wanted to actually know, okay, if this book was 4 stars, why did I rate it that? And so I would write like really in-depth reviews. So I think this will be a really fun way to go back and look at what I've done and yeah, just reference it back. So yeah, super excited for that. Okay, number 2, what are some unique things you can bring to booktube? To be so frank, I am not sure. I don't know. There's so many amazing creators in this space. I truly don't think I have anything more important than anyone else to say, or more creative, or something that hasn't been said already. So unique, don't know. I don't think I have an answer for that, but I'm just so excited to be here. So if anything, I'll just bring enthusiasm. How about that? I dropped my pen. Number 3, what are you most excited for about your channel? And I think because I've had like a functioning channel before, one of the things I have missed the most from creating videos is having just like a community to connect with online. And all of the people that were my subscribers, I loved meeting people. I loved connecting with people. I loved talking to them on YouTube and on Instagram. Something about that I just loved. And yeah, I'm really, really excited for that to be like a part of my life again. I really, really loved the aspect of community that came with being on YouTube. So I'm super excited for that. Another element specifically for like this new direction that I'm going with books, I think it's going to be a really good way for me to hold myself accountable to really reading more, keeping up with goals that I've set. I won't lie, I can have some poor follow through with goals. So I think this will be a really, really good outlet for me that holds me accountable. And if I haven't followed up with a book that I've been reading that I didn't intentionally like stop reading, you guys can be like, Sarah, did you finish that book? What's going on? Tell me about it. Number 4, why do you love reading? I may have mentioned this before, I don't remember. I was a child that hated reading. I hated it. I could always do it. It wasn't like I struggled to read, but I just hated it. I had an older sister. I still have an older sister. She's still with us, thank God. I said had, like in the past tense. But my older sister, when we were little, loved to read. Reading was like her thing. And it just like, it never clicked with me in that same way that it did with her when we were young. And like I fully 100% cheated on AR points. I don't know if you guys lived in areas that did AR points. It was like the accelerated reading program, and you would read books and then take quizzes on them and get points, and the points you could redeem for rewards and stuff. I never did that. I cheated my way through that. I had all my friends take the Harry Potter tests for me. I mean, I truly hated reading. It was like not for me. So I am reformed and now I love reading. But that didn't happen until probably 2018 when I got back from Disney, because I graduated college 2017, moved to Disney like in August after I graduated in May, and then came back home to early 2018 in April, I think. So that is when I started reading again, and that's really because my husband Jack fell in love with reading as an adult probably like a year or so prior, and had like this full stack of books that he was like, you have got to read these, you will love it. And I'll tell you more about what those books were later. But yeah, so I just love that reading can just fully take you into a new space, new perspectives. I think it's the best way to teach empathy and to understand what it means to really be in someone else's shoes, to have experiences that you didn't have but it feels like you did. I really feel like books are the best way to like garner the skill of empathy. I think it's the best way to escape in a way that's like much more productive. Like, I love movies and TV. Movies are certainly a thing that I'm obsessed with. So movies and movies and TV I have always loved, but sometimes it can still feel kind of draining, just because you're like staring at the screen and everything. So I think books are just like the most productive way to use your brain while you're still getting to like experience this new world. So yeah, I love it. I love it so much. Number 5, what book or series got you into reading? Okay, so like I said before, I did not like reading when I was little, but my grandmother read us the Chronicles of Narnia growing up, and I love those books. I love the Chronicles of Narnia so much. I have them all up here. And yeah, I actually just reread some of those earlier, or I guess later last year. It's January, so like through October, November. I just reread some of them, or I listened to the audiobooks of them. So it was really fun. And I plan to reread the whole series like in order again, because I have yet to do that. So when I was little, definitely loved the Chronicles of Narnia. I also, if we're going way back, I love the Magic Tree House books. Like, shout out to them. Love the Magic Tree House books. And then Series of Unfortunate Events from Lemony Snicket. Like, who didn't love those books? So those were definitely like the only type of books that I read when I was little. But it wasn't enough to hook me in. Yeah, I was still like, no, I hate reading. So that's what I liked when I was little. But the book that made me fall in love with reading as an adult was The Book Thief. Oh, I love it. I love The Book Thief so much. I had never had to read that book in school. And well, one, I think it's kind of crazy that people do read that book in school when they're like in middle school or whatever the age is. Oh my God. Because it's so good, but it is so heavy, and I cried my way through that book relentlessly. So The Book Thief is the one that really sealed the deal for me. And then after The Book Thief, that was what my husband Jack told me. He was like, you have to read this book, it'll literally change you. And he was correct. And then after that, I read, so this was back in 2018, I read The Book Thief, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and then The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. All three of those like back to back. So I was wrecked, and that has very much continued the pattern of how I like to feel when I read a book. I want to be a puddle. I want to have felt every emotion under the sun, and if I don't sob in a book, good luck getting a 5 from me. I need to feel broken by a book. So that is very much my book feelings. But yeah, The Book Thief was what got me started reading as an adult. Okay, number 6. This said, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? And I don't know what questions I would ask them, but I'm happy to share with you all some of my favorite people that I love to listen to, whether they're on TikTok or YouTube that I found them. So yeah, I'll share those people. I don't know what I would ask them though. Maybe what type of book they would write if they ever chose to write one. If that's even something that they're interested in, like, because you like to read books, should you also want to write a book? I don't know. But okay, some of my favorite people. I have some of them written down because I didn't want to forget anybody. This is a TikToker. His name is Jay. I think his handle is Literary Corner. I don't have it written down, but I think it's Literary Corner. I'll try and put something here perhaps that shows you guys who these people are. They all have more followers than me, so I'm sure you know who they are if you're watching me. But Jay, I love his videos. He is like so cozy. I can't even describe it. It's like he just has the best aura. The way he talks about books, I'm like, oh, I just like eat up every word of it. So I love Love his books, or his videos. And then Lexi, her YouTube channel is Lexi, aka Newly Nova. Love her. Again, I'm sure you all know who these people are. There's so much, they're huge. But Lexi, I love her. I feel like she is the only, I don't want to say the only, but I feel like she is the person who I see most of my book interests aligning with. I really respect her book taste because I feel like she's not afraid to read whatever. Even if she's like, yeah, this book really wasn't for me in like the romance genre, like she'll give it a try and she'll read it. So I really respect that. And I feel like a lot of her like highly regarded 5-star books are the ones that I would also put on my lists. So yeah, I really respect her, thoughts on books. Someone else, oh, Eden Jonas, I think is how you say it. Eden Jonas. She truly has me like laughing alone in my room, like laughing out loud. She's so funny, and I feel like she just knows what she's talking about with these books. Like, I feel like the way she spends time with them, the way she talks about them just feels like so personal. She has a YouTube channel, but I found her originally on TikTok. Oh, and then Books Are Sick. I believe his name is Nick. I found him on TikTok and then started watching his YouTube channel. And he's just so, I think he's just had his channel like this past year. I think he just came up on like his full year of posting every week. I just really, really love his videos. I think he is great, and I love that he reads old books. Like, I feel like a lot of the booktube stuff that I see is like 2024 books, like reading the newest thing, like what's trending and all of that, which is so fun to some extent, but I really love that he reads like old books and books that aren't talked about a lot. So I always go to him when I'm like, ooh, what's like a classic book I should read, or a book that I've been curious about for a couple years but just never picked up. I always reference him. And he is like one of the few people that I hear talking about 11/22/63, the Stephen King book, and I am freaking obsessed with that book. And I know some people talk about it, but he's the only person who I have seen like rave about that book in the same way that I feel about it. So yeah, really love Nick. And then who's my last person on this list? Oh, Jack Edwards. I love Jack Edwards. And yeah, he's one of those people that's like, I don't care if he posted a video that was 5.5 hours long, I would sit and watch the whole thing completely. Love his videos. He is like a type of intellectual that I am not there quite yet. Like, I certainly count myself intelligent, but the way he describes books sometimes, I'm like, and some of the stuff he reads, like, I so desperately want to be at the point where I can like pick up a piece of work, read it, and digest it the way he does. I just love his brain and love listening to what he says. So yeah, he's another person who's just like so well spoken in the way he chooses his words, like similar to Jay, who I was talking about earlier. The way he chooses words, I'm like, you guys are just like so good at picking your words. So yeah, that's like a little collection of some of my favorite people. Again, don't know what I would ask them, but honestly just say love you guys and thank you for doing the Lord's work by posting all your videos. Okay, number 7. What challenges do you think starting a channel will be the hardest to overcome? Probably just being consistent. Considering I haven't done this in 5 years and I now have a full-time job and do like a million other things, but I have done it before, so I know I can do it again, and I can do hard things. Like, I don't know if this counts as a hard thing, but for me, like, sometimes sticking to a goal is a very hard thing. So I'm gonna do it. And then kind of like I was talking about before, there's just so much content in this space that I think coming up with like original ideas is something that's just gonna be hard. And again, I don't know if that is like, if that will come naturally and I'll be better at it than I realize, but sometimes I can have a hard time like believing in myself. So I think I just don't want to be scared and be like, this is a bad idea and it's not creative, or I haven't seen anybody do this before, so I'm nervous to do it. Just that kind of stuff. The internal monologue of like second guessing yourself. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to challenge myself to do it. So I'm sure there'll be challenges, but I'm happy to work through them. Okay, number 8. When did you start reading? Okay, so like I said, reformed child book hater. So I started reading again as an adult in 2018. And that was because, yeah, my husband Jack told me to read The Book Thief. And I fell in love. Number 9, where do you read? I don't really have like a spot that I read. I most frequently am reading on my couch in my living room. I also read in bed. Though, fun fact about me, I don't love to read in bed at night. I get too tired and I feel like I'm not like fully processing the book. And I don't like reading in like little tiny chunks. So reading for like 15 minutes before I go to bed is not ideal for me. I would much prefer like a binge read type of day. My camera's gonna run out of memory, 1 second. Okay, like I was saying, I prefer a binge read type situation where like if I don't have a busy weekend, I love to just like sit down on a Saturday and be so sedentary and read a book for like 9 hours. That is how I prefer to take in like a reading situation, but that's not always the case. So yeah, usually just in my house somewhere. I also find it very, very difficult to read when it's not just absolutely quiet with like a white noise or like a fireplace crackling in the background. Like I need my ambiance to support my reading. So like even if Jack is like talking to his brother in the background, like I have a hard time reading. So yeah, I very much need it to be a quiet space, which keeps me from being able to like easily pick up a book and read it if I'm like waiting at the doctor's office or something like that. So that's not ideal. And I could easily like put on headphones and like use white noise or something, but that just feels like such a to-do sometimes. And you know, I don't always love having headphones in a public space. So yeah, generally I'm just like in my house with the white noise machine on or a YouTube fireplace crackling in the background. So it's nice and quiet. Okay, and then the last one, number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? I really do think I am open to reading most genres. I love historical fiction books. Those are the books that kind of got me started reading as an adult again. And that is very much like where my interests have followed me. Love a historical fiction book. I love, like I said before, anything that makes me cry. I love a big emotional book. I know some people are like, I do not want to feel heavy when I'm reading a book. I'm like, if I am not like feeling that weight on my chest and wanting to burst into tears, I'm like, what was the purpose? So I love a very, very emotionally impactful, heavy book. Love that. I have read a couple sci-fi books and I've been like decently into them. I have a couple more on my list that I really am anxious to read, so I'm excited about diving more into that genre. Sorry for that weird noise, I just hit a piece of paper. And let me see. Yeah, I really would say that I'm open to most things. I have just barely dipped my toe into the fantasy world. I started reading Red Rising, or I finished like the first Red Rising book and I was absolutely obsessed with it. So yeah, The Golden Sun is on my January to read list. So I am so excited that I really liked that one. And I think that will get me like more interested in fantasy, but I have kind of a hard time with it because I like could give or take the smutty, spicy books. And that seems to be like what fantasy is now. At least from like the books that I hear everybody talking about, and I'm like, I'm just like not really into that element of it. And I feel like that's what a lot of authors are kind of catering towards right now. And again, I'm not saying that from any type of experience because I haven't read any of them. Well, that's not true. I do have A Court of Thorn and Roses here on my bookshelf. No, this one. But I read half of it and then never picked it up again. So I don't know what that says about me. I don't remember like hating the book, but I clearly just like stopped reading it and never picked it up again. So yeah, but I like am hesitant to pick up those books again because I just like don't care. I'm not into like the spice. I don't need that from my book, and honestly would prefer that someone didn't recommend it to me because of like the spice level. You know what I mean? I'm not like opposed to that, but it certainly is not what it's gonna like get me reading a book. So yeah, okay, it looks like my camera is about to die. So that is like a quick recap of, yeah, my first video and my book interest. So I'm gonna have a couple videos up that hopefully you guys can just go look at and watch all in a row. And then hopefully I'll have a video up every Monday from here on out. So thank you all so much for joining me. And yeah, I'm excited for this new adventure on BookTube. See ya.